Hi, welcome to Trailside Chats with Mindy and Jac. I'm Mindy.
I'm Jac.
Today's episode, we are going to talk about injury, recovery, and burnout. And I, for one, have a ton of experience in this department, as referenced in episode 3. I could give a hour-long list of all of my injuries that I've sustained, either from road bike racing or mountain biking or running, all of the above. I'm one big broken mess that doesn't quite move the same way anymore. So Jackie, tell us a little bit about some of the recent injuries you've had. You've been pretty healthy and strong the last year or so, but I know you've had some lingering injuries.
Yeah, so I mean, I've had some issues with my Achilles.
That's a big running injury.
Overuse injury. And then it went into my calves, and then my T-band. So it kind of like just moved its way up the chain, and like all of this was happening, and I was continually running through all of it, of course.
Imagine that.
I know.
Stubborn athlete? I've never heard of that.
So crazy. Oh, it hurts? Well, I'm just going to go running again, because that's what's going to fix it.
And therein lies the problem, dear viewers.
Exactly.
That's a really, really important point that you made there of, it hurts and I'm not going to listen to my body.
Right, yes.
I think we all probably have been guilty of this every now and then. I know that's definitely been my problem.
Mm-hmm.
And, what could be a week-long silly nagging injury of Achilles tendonitis or something, then turns into a 6-month fiasco of working its way up the chain.
Right, because you're compensating, because your Achilles are bothering you, or your calves are bothering you, and instead of running like you would normally run, you're running differently, and now you're going to cause your T-band to get tight, or your glutes to get tight, or anything to get tight, and then it's just going to continually do that until you actually fix the original problem, which probably involves taking time off. And I think all that to say, the original injury was when I was right out of college, or my senior year of college. I was running in Marquette, and I twisted my ankle really bad. And I was doing a long run, and then I kept running on a twisted ankle. It was one of the worst twisted ankles. And then the next day decided to continue to run again. So I think that all started from not taking time off. So now at 33, I'm deciding finally that if something hurts, then it probably means that I need to take a break, that I probably should go and get it fixed.
Oh my goodness. But that's crazy talk. I think you're super spot on with all of that. I would say probably my string of bad injuries started also running post-college, doing a lot of marathon training. Ended up getting stress fractures in L3 and L5. Ran for 8 months and 4 marathons with a fractured back. I had bilateral pars fractures, and that was real nasty. That took a long, long time to heal. Ended up working its way into my hip. By that time, I knew I had to stop running competitively. And had started bike racing a lot more. So that then started affecting my cycling, and my back still isn't the same, and it's been 10 years now. That being said, I hurt myself all the other times. Like, when I tore my MCL in New Zealand in February, and then just sprained my ankle running the Enchantments. And I was 10 miles into this 20-mile loop and ran out. What else was I going to do? There's the injury aspect, and then there's the recovery aspect. And I know we talked a little bit about already, if you would just stop and let something heal at the beginning, this wouldn't be a big, long, drawn out process.
But it's so hard to tell yourself, because I was like just talking about this with my friend, like on Instagram, like it's so hard in the moment to like tell yourself that you're injured and you should stop. It's like, oh, well, because when we're athletes, we kind of think like, oh, that's like a weakness. Like, I'm just got to keep going. And like, it's been so ingrained in us to just overcome things. We just think we have to overcome it. And it's like, no, this isn't a challenge. This is not your body challenging you. This is your body telling you that you're injured.
Right.
The pain means something. Listen to it.
Right.
It's so easy for me to say, oh, Mindy, like this is a problem. But for me to tell myself that, it's going to be a lot longer of me sitting down and being like, okay, this hurts. Now I need to stop.
Yeah, and I think for me anyway, I know in our last episode, I talked about my personal struggle with stress and managing that.
Yeah.
But where this really can start to get ugly is you have these injuries and then you throw some other element into it. So now you have the physical stress that your body's under and you have the mental stress of whatever else in life is coming at you. And that's when things can really start to spiral and create this massive burnout, which is, for me, I've had two very, very severe cases of burnout as an athlete and professional. One, for me, exercising and training, that is my stress relief.
Exactly, yeah.
But when you're injured and broken and you still keep doing it because that's your stress relief and your release valve.
Yeah. And you're in a stressful situation.
Yeah.
Too, like.
In my experience, it's created this massive burnout where I'm physically, mentally, and emotionally burned out and just incapable of doing anything on a productive level.
Right.
And it's been really, really hard to overcome. And for me, I know I've dealt with this in a number of ways. I think, dealing with your injuries head on before it's this massive chronic issue is step one, folks.
Yeah.
Train smarter, not harder.
Right.
And two, taking recovery seriously. As an athlete who raced at really elite levels, I didn't always trust myself and trust the process. And I think that's really, really important. Recovery is just as important as your training. You hear this over and over, but it actually is. Right. Trust me. Taking your days off and knowing that is part of your training plan.
Right.
Is that rest day.
Right.
Getting adequate sleep. Like you're nobody's hero if you can function off of 6 hours of sleep. No, that's bullshit. Like you need, if you're training hard as an elite, you need more than 6 hours of sleep a night.
Right.
And just being able to function because you're drinking 24 ounces of coffee a day, that's also not going to help you. I would say dealing with your injuries head on, taking that rest and recovery, trusting the process, knowing that that time off in between seasons, taking that one little week off, it pays dividends.
Right.
It's just like your retirement account. You put in a little bit now and a little bit now, and you build those dividends over time. So trusting that taking that time off, it's an investment in your long-term potential.
Right.
And I really, really struggled to understand that for so long and just did season after season after season, like full throttle, no rest. And it pretty much destroyed my body.
Right.
I feel like I'm good and healthy now.
Yeah.
Not totally injury free. That's a different story. But not burned out. And knowing when to get body work done or go to find a good PT or find a good therapist, whether that's a sports psychologist or a general mental health counselor, that's huge. And can help your athletic endeavors just as much as anything else.
Right. Definitely prioritizing that is important. Like, you're important. All of these things matter. I think also like listening to your coach or getting a coach. Like for me, I do well when I have a coach because I can bounce ideas off that person and I don't get in this like echo chamber of myself kind of just saying, oh, I'm not doing enough and not doing enough. If I do just do more, like that's not the answer. And sometimes it's just like having somebody that you trust to tell you the right thing and just being able to listen to them and have a prescription and just being able to do that and not try to do everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's huge. And I think also incorporating a lot of cross training. So if it's not your season, you know, I'm typically a cyclist these days. Mixing it up has really helped me, and allowing myself to not feel married to my bike anymore has been really refreshing, mentally as well as physically. Granted, I'm not as strong at either one as I could be if I just focus on one, but who the heck cares? I'm not racing in anything anymore. It doesn't matter. I'm doing this for the love of it. And, but you know, it's not all about the cardio, right? Like you do a lot of rock climbing. I do a lot of yoga. I do a lot of strength training at home. Just mixing it up, I think is huge, especially the strength component for the injury prevention.
Just doing moving your body in different ways too. I mean, that's what I notice like about running all the time. It's like, and another reason why I started climbing.
Get really good at going like this.
Exactly. You have like you can't go that early or at all. Like there's just, you have terrible balance. Like there's just so many things that like running does not strengthen you in. And so it is really good to do different things with your body. Like I'm excited to maybe try some cross country skiing this winter.
Oh yeah. Oh, that'll get your hip flexors lit up.
So just mixing it up is a really good point.
Yeah. So we definitely encourage you guys to take care of yourselves, be aware and listen to your body. Very, very important. Again, you are going to be better and stronger if you just take that little time out now instead of telling that girl to be quiet and ignoring her.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. If there's pain, there's a reason.
You know, those things like, what would you tell 20-year-old Mindy?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
That's a very long list of things. But rest and recovery, right up there.
Important.
Yeah.
Important.
Yeah. Any otherwise words for our audience?
No, but I guess, like you said, or like we've been saying, like trust yourself too. Like if you are feeling something, if something's irking you, if something's bothering you, if you're being overly angry or something like is going on, just like listen to that and try to figure that out. Try to kind of pull at that thread and see if it is something that's emotional or is it physical or is it like, you know, your environment, you know, trying to figure that part of it out is really hugely important.
Yeah. And definitely let us know if you guys have anything ailing you and we can help set you straight. Thanks, guys.